We were literally just talking like, would Senna be banned? The answer is nope. So, what will BLG do? Will they take it away? Will they instead continue to prioritize the Kalista?
Okay.
It looks like, there you go, there's the answer. Senna will be taken away. So how does Gen.G now respond? Do they go for the Kalista themselves? Is Varus instead a higher priority? They're going to take away the Nautilus to deny it from BLG. We know that things like Tahm Kench can also be fine along with the Senna. We've seen T1 come up with all sorts of things to pair up with the Senna. But there's the Kalista. All right, so Gen.G going to go for Kalista plus the Nautilus. Sorry, yeah, Gen.G. Sorry, I looked at this bot lane and assumed it was Elkin on. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, pretty reasonable.
But Peyz has been a bit of a Kalista merchant this tournament. His
100%.
highest played champion so far at this tournament, and this is going to be his 5th game on it.
He's been fine. You know, he's been serviceable.
And I think what we learned in Game 1 was if you're forced to build on hit, the lane might not feel as dominant. But if you're going to play lethality Kalista against a Senna, and she ever tanks a Q, well, lane might just be over. That said, a bit more protection for the Senna this time around in the form of the Tahm Kench. We'll see what BLG want to do here for their 3rd pick. Canyon Nidalee was a big problem in the last game. The bot dive getting thrown and Canyon really taking over the game were the 2 big points that I think BLG really need to rectify.
Do we just lock Tristana here? Yeah, I was actually, that was what I was thinking towards. Because it doesn't feel like a Tristana has a reliable counter that has been found in this tournament yet. We saw many a series devolve into just slamming that as soon as possible. Chovy also a really, really big fan of the pick. Imagine that he's going to look towards picking up a mid lane here so that he doesn't get banned out in the arms race.
They might go for Sejuani themselves.
Ooh, and then trust Chovy to have an answer nonetheless. Could be the angle, but no, it's going to be the Hwei to come out here from Chovy. Strong control mage, but the early game against Tristana can feel a little bit dicey at times.
Can definitely feel tricky. Need to see more CC tools paired with the Hwei when this champion has looked at its best internationally. It's when it can play really at max range, out of reach of picks like the Tristana, like the Senna. See if that is the angle that Gen.G want to take here as we enter the 2nd ban phase. Top lane untouched for now. Both sides presumably would be happy with the blind pick Ksante. And the question is jungle. Anytime you lock in the Tristana, double AD threats already on the side of BLG, there's an assumption that magic damage needs to come from somewhere.
The Maokai is a natural pairing. We've seen some teams pair the Lilia up with it. I will say that the Lilia has not sold me. No. But you've got to remember, Shun is Nidalee playing himself, right? So always a possibility. I think that's why Sejuani's now become a scary pick.
Yeah.
Because after Canyon has said, hey, I really like playing this into that matchup, Shun can be like, oh yeah, cool, me too. So go ahead. If you want Sejuani, take it. We've got our AD mid, we'd love a bit of AP. I will say BLG lacking a little bit of engage. They already have a solid frontline with Tahm. I'm sure they'd love something to pair up alongside it. With the Vayne being man away, heavily suggesting a Ksante pick here for Kiin.
Will be a no-brainer, and already there is a lot of AD damage, making itemization really easily. A Xin Zhao ban, I think, would feel great here. Vi normally, I think, is quite strong, but into Kench and into Tristana, I do think the pick loses a lot of what makes it so lethal. The guaranteed lockdown, the guaranteed ways of taking down a target right from the get-go. Seems like BLG, they do agree. Xin Zhao here, I think, feels relatively safe.
It's Ksante,
but it's yeah, no,
they
you're
just
right.
banned TF. Why did BLG ban TF?
I guess they wanted to, I mean, you could
Camille
question,
again?
Do they just want to bait the Ksante blind to set something up to punish?
Dunno. I don't have a good answer for you.
There's no way.
Nah. Double AP?
Oh my
Okay. All right.
I mean, we talked about it earlier. This is much more of a poke comp, right? Lethality, Kalista with Hwei plus Nidalee. If you're first onto an objective, you have so much range. And the thing about double AD carries is that they're great at melting front lines if they can hit your front line. But when you're running full poke, often it can be much harder to do that.
This can't be right. There is no way that's the angle, right? That you're just going for these blind Nidalees.
Where is the engage on BLG's
Oh,
It's Diana!
right there!
It's Diana!
Holy!
We talked about it before we came on. We said there's going to be an arms race in one of these lanes. We thought it might be bot lane. It is in the jungle.
Oh my goodness. Shun's Diana. I wasn't expecting that, gentlemen. I'm sorry, I wasn't.
I don't think that was on anyone's bingo card. Except for the Diana one. Like R/Diana mains has known.
We know that Jun does have a history of playing Diana. Not one of his most successful champions throughout his entire career, but definitely something that he has a lot of experience on. We talked about how they were lacking some engage. The Poppy round out from Gen.G, a really good answer.
That's such a nightmare pick. So now you have a winning top side and the one win condition, which is going in aggressively with this dive onto the enemy Pocomp. There's a Poppy standing in your way.
Gentlemen, I'm going to be honest.
What is happening in the
BLG
series?
are going to be playing this game on hard mode.
I still think I prefer Gen.G's draft overall.
No, I agree.
They're full poke with 2 frontline. They can engage if they want to. And I've just kind of trusted Gen.G's objective setup overall more than what we've seen from BLG this series. I will say that Diana is a great power farmer. She should be able to keep up more than comfortably with the Nidalee, and Nidalee shouldn't have the same luxury of stealing away those camps just because of how quickly Diana can move through the jungle. But yeah, these fights are going to be interesting. BLG have already showed us this series back in Game 1 how great they are at team fighting. And with a composition like this, there's all sorts of crazy team fighting that can happen. The question is, can they actually get in range to make the team fight happen? Poppy, Kalista, Hwei, Nidalee, so much range. I'm excited. Game 3, Gen.G versus BLG, 1-1. Who can bring us to match point?
A damn good question. Unique picks now on both sides. New champions hitting the rift in the final days of MSI 2024. Innovation has won so many tournaments historically. Will this be an innovation? Will this be a boon from Shun? Going back to the Diana, bringing out something old, something that he was really successful on in his IG days, something we haven't seen in a long time. Or is Candy's Nidalee, which did pretty good in the last game, gonna continue to be a problem?
Main thing for me for BLG in this game is, can they still find the angles that they normally do when Shun isn't on the type of champion that can reliably get his lanes ahead early? Very different style. We've seen him do it with the Nidalee. We've seen him do it with his Kindred as well, right? Very different play style. So it's not about him playing carries, but it is BLG, as we saw in game number 1, are going to have to take on a very different role here with how they play out. There isn't, or there shouldn't rather, we'll see if Elkanon can find it nonetheless, an opportunity for those early dives, which were so instrumental in game 1.
I will say, I wonder how much G2 and scrims have influenced people's priority on Poppy. Because the Poppy resurgence we've seen at this tournament, it's just such a good Poppy angle, right? Like the Diana, the Ksante. Night now, we'll get hooked.
There, is he gonna be forced to start W? No.
He's okay.
He's fine, he's underneath this tower.
Yes,
but
gentlemen, 50% of his HP.
He's fine.
Tis but a scratch. Yeah, so Gen.G going to use this opportunity to move into the enemy jungle. Looks like, oh, they're actually not going to drop a ward. Maybe here before the Lehends bases. Nope, he's starting with Sweeper. I apologize.
All right, Shun. Of course, Diana, obviously the passive attack speed, much easier to sustain. Notoriously good at clearing clamps very quickly. It is kind of...
early levels, it's a little slow.
Yeah.
Not slow by any means. Kiin going to be spotted on that ward that was dropped. He's seeing if any of the camps are being stolen. Shun, though, has been able to navigate his way towards the Raptors. And yeah, Diana's a great champion at taking away the Raptors just because of the AoE that she gets on her passive. Let's have a look at the pathing plan here from both these junglers. Shun going to have completely free reign over this top side. As far as we know, Canyon has no insight on this. So he's going to do a bot side clear, move into his top side and realize that's been stolen away. But perhaps he is aware and can move into the bot side to get some camps of his own.
Particularly in these AP versus AP matchups, if you get to an earlier spike, it can really accelerate from that point on, because it does actually allow you, particularly with both these champions, if you get an earlier first item spike to really go in aggressively.
Locked up, but Lehends already has 3 stacks on him. They're trying to kill on before they get to level 2 for the thick skin. Good poke back. Gen.G aggressive in this bottom lane matchup.
Flash already committed from Peyz. Swap the nameplates. Hey,
oh yeah.
You know, like it just goes to show Peyz definitely can be as aggressive as he needs to be. But yeah, Canyon will realize that. I mean, I do have to question. No early wards were dropped from Gen.G. They moved into the enemy jungle and they didn't do anything. So Canyon's now going to move over towards the bot side, expecting that Jeune is doing a topside clear, and now he should have all the information that he needs to realize, okay, my whole topside should be gone. Jeune has split the map, which may very well be better for Gen.G, because now Canyon could even threaten a dive onto BLG's bottom line.
There was also the fact that Jeune not able to pick up the Krugs, so Canyon might actually end up a camp up. The big thing here is that the bot lane is already ahead, so even with the TP in from On, had to catch the wave first. We'll see if they're able to push it out from here on out as a possible roam come through. They do seem to know that Canyon is in the area as should be expected. Shun now spotted on the ward.
Canyon, if he hits the spear, it's going to be big. Canyon just now full commit to the trade. Shun, but a good trading back with the shielding. Trying to keep this going, but he knows he loses out. Canyon, just in these extended fights, is so damn strong.
Canyon thought about it.
Oh, the puppy.
Well, he's trying to see if Jeune is moving into his top side. He's going to spot him here.
Cancel with the passive. Oh, this is going to slow down the clear so much.
I mean, admittedly, though, Canyon's not really doing much himself. He does have the bot crab that he can go and take, but I think he's more interested in the Krugs. Just take that whole bot side, get the level 4, move over towards the Krugs. Again, though, Elk and On are now completely isolated from any jungle support. Diana, after taking the top side, Raptors, I'm sure would love to try and get them again, but Canyon sees an angle.
A flash on.
Lehends does have flash.
Angle to set things up. On, now going to Abyssal dive out. They don't get the CC. Crucially, Hook, though, going to connect instantly onto the Senna. First blood, the flash, too damn late.
We saw Shun, Elk and On show the vulnerability early on of this Senna. And now Gen.G do the same to them.
They're not done, gentlemen. They're looking for another dive. On is next on the list.
Lehends walking up immediately, going to tank tower aggro, start walking out. Hook back in, clean follow-up dive. Gen.G dominating in the bot lane.
The consequences of just stealing some Raptors. Shun, he's going to be able to get the reclear of them. He's going to split the map again. But Gen.G are appropriately leveraging the control they have over the bot side of the map. And Chovy is winning out in this matchup.
Which is huge, because the Tristana, we saw this in the G2 series as well, became such a big power pick. Felt like there wasn't a lot of answers. Chovy on this way, obviously can skill insanely well. Tristana, so much of her power relies on getting those early leads, on continuously shoving in, farming plates, and playing from an advantage. Instead, Knight's going to be forced to go Mercs first here.
Such a difficult early game for the side of BLG. This composition doesn't give them a lot of avenues to play through. Shun really wants that level 6, falling behind the Nidalee. Absolutely not what needed to happen for this BLG composition. Is the game going to be a bit trickier to play out? Elk and On are going to need time. Elk, no flash. On's minute and a half, 2 minutes away, and Peyz and Lehends set up with a bit of jungle support here coming down. BLG are going to need to respect this, but don't have any info on where the Nidalee is. Oh, on to On, good start, spear connects, follow-up is here, that's gonna be one dead Catfish, Abyssal dive out, Lehends grabbing that one, and yet another bot side kill.
It's just decimation on the bot side of the map in favor of Gen.G. Canyon gonna clear out this vision, and Shun is just isolated on the top of the map. Yes, he's getting camps, he's farming well, but he's gonna have to be so strong in the fights later on because Gen.G is already looking to run away with the game.
It's what we said, Shun. This Diana, it's just not going to have the same impact 3-6. She's a decent duelist in a 1v1, maybe a 2v2, but that's not the case. Meanwhile, Canyon, with the setup he has in his lane, continuously able to visit and revisit, all thanks to this early summoners being blown.
And I think the tricky position you're in now for BLG, you're trying the Senna lanes for yourself. It is not working. Gen.G are punishing you the exact same way you tried to punish them, and Canyon still dominant on this Nidalee despite, you know, Nidalee Hwei maybe not being a pretty standard jungle mid-combo at all.
So it doesn't matter.
Chovy's just in isolation, just winning. All the bans sent at him just have not been impactful yet, and BLG are going to be suffering On, taking a lot of upfront damage.
You should be
skin there.
Now. But the Raptors, there's nothing you can do about it On, and look at this wave. Oh, that is not a good spot to be in. So much farm is being denied away from On, and Elk. Elk did make his way towards mid. He knows the bot is doomed right now, so he's staying around mid lane. Chovy, that's his credit. You already highlighted it. I'm really impressed with how this matchup is going. I wasn't expecting this to be so favorable to the Hwei, but Chovy demonstrating that if you give him an opportunity to build a lead, he will in fact build a lead. And look at that, 73 CS at 7 minutes 30. Chovy is Chovy.
Sean looking for the angle though, potentially to attack mid lane. Elk just wandering around with him, picking up additional souls, trying to use that as an avenue to get some more power for himself. Canyon ahead in XP, gonna take over to level 6, and in the meantime, Peyz pretty content to keep just deleting minions, deleting income, denying BLG any avenue to come back.
And we've seen other teams cross-map, right? You dive with the Ksante on the top side so that you're at least getting something back, but it's Poppy!
It's Poppy!
With a Diana! Like, you try and charge into you, and then, oh, steadfast presence, there's nothing you can do, your dive is denied, and then he also has the ultimate as well. Like, this Poppy is impossibly difficult to dive. So, BLG just don't have any early game options right now as the bot lane continues to be isolated from any support.
The big thing here for BLG is we saw in game number 1 that they were able to find some amazing team fight angles, and they're gonna have to do that here again.
They're gonna dive them again.
Oh, no. Come on.
Gen.G,
level 4, level 5.
don't want to give him a chance to team fight. Elk level 4, got a couple extra souls on the roam, a bit of extra range, but a nice sidestep isn't going to matter much when he connects into the wall. Spear hitting, Elk down. Gen.G again dominating through bot side. On's going to be in trouble. Spear does connect. Walking down, no one's roaming to help. No one is moving on the side of BLG. On going to get canceled.
Oh, Canyon got
Canyon
aggro.
taking tower.
Peyz got aggro.
Peyz got aggro as well, and now On, he's going to take a nice quick trip to the fountain.
He
Flash.
committed the flash. This is a travesty for BLG's bot lane.
And let's look back to the start of the day. If you remember the big board that our analyst desk put up, the bot lane was supposed to be where BLG won confidently. They were supposed to have a massive advantage. Gen.G nullified so much of that in game 2, and now they have turned it back on them in game 3, dominating with the support of Canyon.
And naturally, people are going to say, oh, it's the Senna, it's the Tahm Kench, but it's the fact that Raptors was where the start happened. Your jungler being in a position to never assist, never cover, never stop these dives from happening, just gives completely free reign for Canyon to literally do whatever he wants.
That's the big thing. The early force of the summoners by Peyz and Lehends alone, that's a nice lead. You might be able to build a little bit of an advantage from the back of Flatus.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, you guys can't see the visceral reaction that VEdius is having, but it's rough, understandably. But it is the fact that Canyon blinds Nidalee, which, by the way, we were playing in a meta. Junglers are building Knight's Vow and Locket, and the man is playing Nidalee. BLG need to find an angle somewhere, but it's so tough.
The angle is, for now, Chovy missing the ultimate. Knight wants to step up, but Canyon is here, so it's not going to matter.
Well, didn't need it.
Chovy's just, saying, I don't need it. 5 bans, my ulti. No, he probably whiffed, but
Canyon
it's okay.
Is actually going to get his Raptors, which means that Shun, like, he's moving into his bot side of the map, finally, but there's no camps for him to take. Dragon is available in 40 seconds time. The grubs are going to be secured by Gen.G, but this early game has just been a one-sided stomp. Shun can't find anything to steal right now.
It's going to have to be that one-more combo. Diana going in, finding multiple people, follow-up from On.
Peyz.
I mean, Peyz can't do anything yet.
He pokes Shun, at the very least.
Oh, there's no TP.
Are they finally? No.
Peyz is just going to back up. Has pressure on the top side.
Yeah, with Canyon being towards top, he just has to drop the wave, but they don't even have a real dive threat here. They don't want to risk it because Lehends already there.
Gentlemen, Gen.G are incredibly far ahead at 11 minutes. 5 kills, 3K up.
Yeah, I'm not. This isn't really how I expected Game 3, particularly with how Game 1 and 2 felt like whenever one of the two teams got to play their respective style, they looked amazing. Team fighting for BLG in game number 1, even with a little bit of a slower early game, and Gen.G in game 2, very controlled. But instead, it's Gen.G with a 3K gold lead at 12 minutes. They're going to get a second dragon as well, because you're never going to be able to contest this.
So difficult to do. Lehends just harassing On under tower. Peyz poking. Just continues to free hit on this objective. Has the 3 grub buff. Neither side going to be able to get 4 for the mites, but Canyon, unsurprisingly, just shreds through the objective there. Continues to extend this lead from the side of Gen.G. And whereas previously, game 1, pretty even up until those team fights, BLG are not going to be even in this game without a miracle of a team fight. They will not get the opportunity to fight on even footing because Gen.G are just so wildly far ahead.
I mean, what else is there to say, really? BLG need to find a big fight. It's kind of their best opportunity. Shun now shadowing the bot side of the map. There are camps available for him as Canyon has finally decided to return to his side of the jungle. I mean, in terms of farm, Shun's doing a pretty good job, but in terms of gold, That's a 1k lead for Canyon. The Lich Bane is on its way. Admittedly already secured for Shun, but yeah, I mean, this is looking rough for BLG. They're going to have to show us their team fighting prowess once again if they want to turn this game around. Gen.G just need to keep it calm, cool, collected. Canyon needs to keep doing what he's doing. Their objective setups, I think, have been on point so far this series. Dragon spawning in 4 minutes, Herald in 1 minute's time, though. Wouldn't be surprised to see that bot lane actually move up towards the top side of the map, maybe send the Kiin down towards the bottom lane so they can set up to fight for this Herald.
And I think the one thing we know you never want to let Gen.G do is play a slow game on their terms. Play with these control mages, these scaling threats in the mid lane, with so many tools to deny the fight. BLG in a tough position. Senna, again, still getting a bit of extra soul income at the very least, even if the gold is hurting. Knight will grab the Kraken Slayer.
That's a poppy, guys.
It is still a poppy. They're trying to push the wave in. Are they ready to fully commit to this? Answer, no. Canyon, on the other hand, very happy to see members on the top side of the map, giving him premier access to yet another of Shun's buffs.
He's caught up now as well. The one lead that Shun had was about, what, 20 CS? That's now evaporated because of the control that Gen.G had with their lanes.
Canyon investing time on the bot side of the map. Oh, hang on.
Flash out. Now going to Abyssal dive back in, but will not connect any skills whatsoever. Canyon doing a ton of damage, but overestimates his initial damage output. Heal coming in. Diana on the hunt. Nice sidestep on the hook. Lehends committing. That's the ulti. But no kills yet. Elk chasing. Good sidestep on the initial Q. Lehends getting chunked away at Elk. Really starting to hurt. Good pullback on the Peyz call, but now Peyz might be in trouble. Abyssal dive. Bin off to the side, trying to isolate Chovy. Dashing out, though, as the TP comes in. Kiin on the way to make sure nothing else happens to that backline.
BLG looking for a moment of weakness there on tankier than Gen.G had expected. They throw a lot into trying to kill this, pay with it. They have to pay for it with a bunch of flashes and Kiin's TP.
I mean, that was a bit of an overstep from Gen.G. I think them threatening that dive onto On rather than just pressuring the tower was a bit of a mistake, and credit to BLG recognizing that and trying to convert it into a winning fight. Look at all those flashes. Peyz, Chovy, Canyon, all committed. But the same can be said for Shun, Elk, On. We're all ready to go for that skirmish, knowing that was an opportunity to turn the game around.
Ends on the chase. On. Was barely able to walk away. This Tahm Kench has just been bullied all game long. But now it's Chovy who's going to be in trouble. Initial upfront damage from Shun is good, but they see the rest of Gen.G coming.
They don't commit to that. Wait, maybe the Diana. Yeah, Diana didn't quite have ulti up. That makes sense. Knight now makes his way back to mid.
Severing Bolt. Dashing away from Canyon. Rocket jump out as Canyon just continues to step up with these spears and harass. Lane economy snapshot, very telling of the state of the game, although slightly misleading because of the Senna combo, but meanwhile, a bit of a fight started in the mid lane. Flash in from Kiin, look for the knockback on one, takes the Tahm Kench out. Perhaps not the ideal target, but the mid lane certainly is. Gen.G about to knock that one down, but do not finish it.
Tense affair as both teams gather in mid lane. That tower is a hair's breadth with being knocked down.
It's a poke war though. As long as Shun doesn't find an angle on the fight, Gen.G just going to sit here and throw skill shots.
I mean, this is what we talked about, right? The range on Gen.G in situations like this, where it's about contesting waves, fighting over neutrals. Gen.G should just have the advantage with the sheer amount of poke that they have. The sustain from Senna is going to help a little bit, but it's just so annoying. How do you deal with all this pressure that Gen.G is constantly throwing out?
Look at top wave state, look at bot wave state. It's only just now hitting the tower, the fight breaking out. Kiin taking a lot of poke though, getting caught. The Poppy taken down, not getting one kill, has the reset on the rocket jump. Chovy trying to run away, been not able to connect on the Intofu strikes, and a solid pick from the side of BLG.
So it's an overstep from Gen.G that BLG can finally find that punish. Their first kill of the game will result in a Herald being secured. But with the Dragon in 10 seconds, Gen.G can just look to put themselves on soul point.
Gen.G is really tunneling on getting this mid lane turret because they're the poke comp, want to try and take that down. Lehends hooks a minion.
Poke, ulti going in onto Elk. Elk trying to get into the Shroud and get away. Nice damage onto On, Spiring Despair, somewhat effective. Bin now trying to get away as well. Severing Bolt only hitting On. Canyon happy to walk into the tower because he can one-shot it with the Lich Bane. Clean pick in mid to take On out of the equation as the Herald will eventually fall to Shun. But Gen.G, as predicted, priority access to the Drake.
I think that Gen.G are happier with this. Yes, they did lose Kiin, but putting yourself on soul point with Ocean, you talked about the value of it last game. I think it's still going to offer you a lot of great value in this game, especially in a war of attrition. Knight's going to move up towards top, try and cross-map. The Herald, sure, is still a nice pickup, but BLG, even though they found their first kill of the game, I don't know if it's going to do much to swing the momentum.
Kiin there, I think, really some muscle memory from all the Ksante games that he played. Poppy is quite tanky, especially when you get lower thanks to the resistances on your W, but don't have the same amount of maneuverability in a fight. And Gen.G here just really want to get that wave in, try and play for the kill onto this turret. Paying for it pretty dearly as we do see Bin keeping him safe. Right? Actually, the Poppy already dead her. My bad on that one. But it's the poke that lands, and the poke alone is enough to take this turret. And I kind of wonder if they didn't want to try and threaten maybe a flank there from Shun. Because Gen.G, it felt like they were really committing to that. Could have caught them off guard there.
Potentially, Shun will tick over to level 11, but we're yet to see him find that game-changing ultimate. If you connect onto more members, that ultimate does more damage. It definitely can be huge at turning a fight around. But the question is, can BLG find it? Flashes are now back up across the board, or at the very least, they will be coming up very soon, which means that for the next fight, it's going to be interesting. Wow, the commitment of the Herald bot, I kind of expected it to be used mid, because against Hwei, it can be very difficult to siege, but they want to unlock this tower, maybe escort it towards the tier 2. I don't think Kiin's going to do much to be able to stop this unless he can get the eye. No. So, a bit of extra damage gained from BLG. Dragon still not for a while. And they will at least take a consolation prize in the form of the blue buff.
It's still bigger from BLG though, because with that mid lane play, I think some of the grip that Gen.G had on this game has been taken. Still, sizable gold lead, soul point here. I don't think BLG get a lot of opportunities for mistakes, but some gold on Knight specifically does make him a bigger menace in that sideline.
For sure. He's Chovying as well, 202 farm at 19 minutes 40. Credit to Bin as well, his farm, 194. Solo laners, well, okay, maybe not for Kiin. He's having a bit of a rough one, but that's okay. He's Poppy.
He's there for one job and one job only. It's to push R, it's to push W.
He is steadfast, and he is present.
That's all he needs to do.
Not in the farm, but in every other category. Has made that presence known as Gen.G. Multiple members committed. Poppy going to try and catch the wave on the bottom side as Gen.G just threaten here past 20 minutes. Of course, can get their entire team as blue buff. They secure it, but that's the lock-up onto Lehends. Fake call denying the play. Trying to spare onto On. Everybody wants the blue, but BLG are going to be the ones to get it. And now the TP coming out. Bin rooted up. Nice use of the eye coming out from Hwei there.
On. Often the front line. The eye acting as a zoning tool from Chovy.
Oh, Rocket Belt done now for Shun. Gives him a decent amount of extra reach.
Decent pullback. Bin going to be really tanky. So easy for him to itemize that MR. Now it's Canyon who's been caught out. He tries to flash back. Ksante on the chase here. Canyon take it down. Bin right when they need him. Kiin trying to disengage, but he's getting devoured alive. Chovy now trying to turn the fight back. He's the red carpet won't be enough. Kiin take it down the diagonal. Coming in clutch. BLG find their angle. They find their moment. They take the fight.
A huge fight for BLG could unlock the Baron. 5 members to 3. There's no smite available on Canyon. How confident do they feel with Chovy and Peyz alive? They're saying, let's go for it.
TPN, this is their opportunity. This is their window. Navori finished for Knight. Already in the play, Gen.G risking a lot to contest here. The AoE from Chovy, will it be enough? Bin stepping up. Unkillable, the root connecting from the Hwei. Nice bit of damage on the Spiral and Despair. They're all caught in the back of the pit. Maybe they can turn it back. On now spinning it out to keep the jungler standing. Chovy already taking down on the Baron, getting lowered. They will secure it on the side of BLG, but now Gen.G are on the hunt, looking to take as many buffs away as they can. Knight running, Elk running, Bin trying to find a way out without it. Kalista not going to connect on the spear, crucially. Knight in trouble. Peyz taking one. Lehends gonna look to make it 2. They get the Baron, but they lose so many in the trade.
BLG, I don't know if that one is going to be worth. They understandably want to try and take full control of this game, retake the momentum after Gen.G make a colossal mistake around the fight. Bin getting Canyon there, absolutely huge, but it's the consistent damage of Chovy and the fact that Peyz is unchecked that ends up being the difference maker.
A superstar play here from Bin. We've seen what Ksante can do. He's able to stun up Canyon, brings him back after the flash from Canyon. The timing, a bit of a blunder there. as Kiin on the front line trying to create space for his team to disengage. A nice flash from him, but the follow-up is better. Shun connects the E. We're back to live as the dragon spawns in 10 seconds and the fight over the mid-wave begins.
Only buff is on Bin. Bin, 1.4k gold up. He needs to come up huge, otherwise Gen.G gonna get soul here.
So often the story for BLG. Bin, the one who can come up clutch. Abyssal Voyage not going to connect anybody but on. Incredibly tanky. Shun fishing for the angle. Knockup is there. Knockback coming in for Kiin. Currently a 4v5. But the damage, not enough to lock down Bin.
Gen.G need to play these fights slower. They need to leverage their range, their poke, force BLG to walk into their damage over time. An all-in from BLG is exactly what they're looking for. And here we
connecting.
are. Gen.G now slowly starting to disengage a little bit. The healing valuable from Elk because the dragon is
Another
started.
abyssal dive into the back line. On getting shredded though, the follow-up not there. Chovy quick to punish as they walk into the choke. It's a free kill for the side of Gen.G. Now at a man disadvantage, do they want to keep going? Shun praying for the 5-man, praying for the angle. Gen.G aren't going to give it to him. Fate's call going in. Elk down. Only 3 members left on the side of BLG. Slowly but surely, with patience, Gen.G are winning the fight. Bin getting lower and lower. Knight now pulled back, knocked into the wall. It's clean from Kiin in the nick of time. Bin running. He will not get out. Steadfast as ever. Kiin denies the exit. Shun will not find his ulti. He will not find his angle. And Gen.G obliterate BLG.
Gen.G slow the game down, and look at the amount of damage coming out of this Hwei. So many of the plays that Gen.G were going for were so fast, so aggressive, but as you were saying, Vedi, just need to calm down. It's on that go in. Because BLG know they need to try and hard commit on the fight. There is no opportunity for them if this goes the distance, if you're just sitting there taking the poke, and their hand is forced, but Gen.G gets the soul.
8-0 and 5 for Peyz. Look at how initially it's on, starting with the engage. He's taken a decent amount of damage, but the follow-up, they burst him down quickly. That use of the Q from Chovy to create the zone that made it very difficult for BLG to follow up on that initiation, and then it just becomes a chase down, target after target. Nice aim from Peyz to close up the fight. This bot lane from Gen.G with the assistance of Canyon has been crucial, and Gen.G will out-teamfight BLG here in Game 3.
Back to live at the tail end of this fight. You can see in the picture-in-picture as we focus up, Shun, of course, eventually taken down. But Gen.G establishing control. They've got Ocean Soul. Feels like a victory lap in this game. It is so difficult for BLG to do anything. A single standout moment from Bin getting them the Baron, but otherwise a very quiet game. 3-15 the kill score.
And this has got to feel good for fans of Gen.G. Last year, it was a BLG 3-0 at MSI into a BLG 3-2 at Worlds. The rivalry that has been building up between these two organizations over the last 2 years could finally give the momentum to Gen.G and bring us to match point.
Main thing now for Gen.G, keep your head on. Don't overextend. We've seen BLG still looking for the fight, still looking for the counter punch. Particularly the positioning of Chovy and Peyz in these fights going to be big. We saw Canyon taking out, already makes it hard, but they were still able to win the fight nonetheless. But if they get Chovy and or Peyz, so much consistent damage gets taken away from this Gen.G comp. 7 or almost 7k gold. Are they up now? And this is where it gets hard. Trying to defend against this siege with the Hwei sitting at 2.5 items and Nidalee poking away.
A poke, Canyon waiting over the wall, hiding the spear as much as possible. Not gonna get hit there. Poke coming through, Abyssal Voyage back, just trying to threaten. Just posture as if there's something to be done.
The siege is lethal from Gen.G. We already talked about their range, and it's a difficult thing to deal with. Chovy gonna TP back to bot lane to catch that wave. I mean, if there's farm, Chovy's got to grab it. And that he will do. The Elder spawns in 3.5 minutes. The Baron in 45 seconds. And that Baron will likely be BLG's last real attempt at turning this game around. I'd like to give BLG fans more hope, but you kind of look at the item difference and it's colossal between the two teams. The tanks are strong, the front line is solid, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to turn this game around.
Big thing here as well is Leandries for Canyon. Void stuff, not Creep Bloom, Void stuff now done for Chovy as well. It seems like Gen.G have also identified that the fact that Bin was so hard to deal with in some of these last fights is a big problem. So a lot of resistance shredding now available here for them. Also an arm guard for Canyon. And BLG Gonna have to try and find a Hail Mary fight again. It comes down to that mid, to that AD. Otherwise, Gen.G, they can set up at the objective and just poke away.
Lehends walking forward, laying down the vision to make sure that Gen.G have an optimal angle of attack. Chovy ready to poke over the wall. Quick flash out from Lehends.
That's fine. He's just putting Hex Flash available.
No, I think that was a Hex Flash. Maybe I'm imagining.
Hex Flash coming out regardless. And Gen.G now pushing back. The rest of the team have all their summoners up. Could be one final fight here. Root onto Bin, free damage. No one on the side of BLG able to follow up or protect this. Ksante, now the steadfast presence. Peyz just stacking up spears. Keeper's verdict channel.
But that's a Baron now. I mean, they've done the damage. They did what they need to do. They can force the TP out from Bin. And again, try and face check this comp. Go ahead, do it without Bin.
Kiin, bit of harass, spiraling despair, now denying the Diana her exit. And with the ulti taken off the table, it's so damn easy for Gen.G. Lehends already hitting the hook on the Knight. Chovy immediately gonna fall up with a bit of extra poke. Bin trying to buy as much time as he can, but Knight is getting taken down. Kiin on the Poppy, just refusing to die, will dash back. This Knight manages to hit him with the ultimate, and in the meantime, Canyon coming in, doing so much damage. Gen.G taking over in game 3. They're gonna end it here.
Gen.G gonna get to match point here. First seed of the LCK, but they have let the region down so many times. Battle isn't fought yet, but with Hwei and Nidalee coming through here for the mid-jungle 2v2, the early bot lane going the way of Gen.G thanks to Canyon on his Nidalee. BLG unable to punch back.
Dominance just about from start to finish. Canyon a menace as expected, but all of Gen.G coming together. 10-0-7 for Peyz. Lehends deathless. This is a terrifying team. This is the LCK first seed we were promised. BLG scattered, tried to take the Senna. It did not work. Next effort could be their last as we move on to match point for Gen.G.
I mean, the pressure is on BLG. Last year, they continued to get the better of Gen.G. But this is a revitalized, a different Gen.G.